This bike looks a lot like the 2025 model. That's because it is. The new 2026 Honda CRF250 is exactly the same as last year, but that does not mean we won't test it. We still put a lot of time on this bike over the last year. We know a ton about it. So in this video, we're gonna share all we know about the 2026 Honda CRF250. At $8,399, the 2026 CRF250 is $100 more than it was last year. On the dyno, it hits 41.5 horsepower with 19.9 foot-pounds of torque. This is one of the most fun 250s to ride, but while it is so fun to ride, there's still a few quibbles and questions and concerns that we have. In this video, we're gonna talk about the things we did to make our 250 better and talk about the things we appreciate on this bike. The Honda CRF250 was all new in 2022, and that bike was characterized as a fun, nimble, exciting engine and exciting bike, but the forks were like 2x4s. We hated how stiff they were. Thankfully, in 2025, Honda made big updates to both their 450 and 250 models. They actually made the frame stiffer, focused on getting more compliant, more comfortable frame by actually going stiffer on the metal and stiffer on the chassis in the CRF250 frame. How did that work out for us on the track? It actually made the bike better. They also went softer on the forks as well, making the CRF250 a very fun machine to ride on the track. As far as engine goes, they only made minor updates to the 2025 model. The crank got a little bit stiffer to try to get a little more rotation, a little more inertia inside the engine. The exhaust system got straighter to try to boost airflow coming out of the engine, and also coming into the engine, airflow was altered as well with a new intake and a new side-mounted air filter. Although the CRF250 finished 5th in our 250 shootout last year, it did not finish 5th in every single category. This bike is the second most affordable model at $8,399. It's also the second lightest bike in the class at 224 pounds. Unfortunately though, it is the second slowest bike, only faster than the Suzuki RMZ 250, but just because it's low on the horsepower totem pole doesn't mean it's a bad engine in the hands of the right rider. And that's why we had Josh number 3 riding our Honda CRF250 the last year. Josh Holley, novice level rider, and he's been really appreciating the CRF250 engine.
So out of the box, I think fast riders will say that this bike is slow. Obviously it ranks slow, it looks slow on the dyno, but you guys are carrying a lot more speed through the corners. You're relying on that mid to top end. Look, us vet novice riders, we make mistakes, let's be honest. And in the corners, I need that power down low, especially if I need to short shift it, and hopefully third gets me out of the corner. Like, I need that recovery time. And so that's really, really beneficial for me to have that. And so I think even in terms of power, I think it's very subjective. It's right. How fast are you riding through corners? How fast of a rider are you? Where are your weak points as a rider? And you know, is that bike fitting your weaknesses to make some of those strengths? And I think that's where the Honda shines. This is the one red bike for me that doesn't make me feel so novice. It saves me quite a few times, and I think that's something that we miss out when it comes to the 250 package. Down low power is not bad if you're an early rider.
Nice.
So obviously you know that I really love this engine characteristic. It's down low, it's really, really good, but I came to Josh and I said, how can we fix the top end? Because this bike does sign off pretty quick. Going up the hills of Glen Helen, even hitting the finish line kind of in third gear, I'm pretty revved out. So I said, what can we do? We actually went with a Pro Circuit TI6 exhaust system, full system. Wow, what a difference. I mean, literally, normally I'd go up the hill if I didn't have enough momentum, had to click fourth, sometimes would bog just because I'm a newer rider.
Yeah.
Third gear, pulled all the way up the hill. Finish line, third gear, pulled all the way off. That inspires confidence because as a new rider, you're gonna miss shift, you're gonna make mistakes. So now I get bottom end and I get top end with that Pro Circuit system.
Yeah, and he's been racing our 2025 model. This 26 is brand new, but it hasn't changed at all. So the 25 model, we threw that Pro Circuit on there, and then you added a nice little power dent up and racing it up at Big Bear on the header, but you also got a pretty nice hole shot. How was that?
Yeah, got the hole shot on this bike. It definitely starts really well. That's another plus right there. But yeah, just having that low end right off the gate, and then also the pull. I grabbed 4th gear and this thing just kept cranking. I think I had a 5 bike length hole shot, so that was nice.
Yeah. Speaking of start, that hole shot was a dead engine start up at the Big Bear Grand Prix, and these stock Honda batteries start extremely nice. So for me, it was nice jumping on this bike today and clicking the battery and getting going. Not all models are as easy to start as this bike. Switching gears into the handling side of things, the CRF250 chassis is extremely nimble and fun to ride. This is probably one of the most fun 250s in the class. Fun because of that engine is a little bit snappy down low, but also just the 250 platform from Honda is the best bike for whipping, the best bike for diving in and out of corners. It's just nimble and super fun to ride. From a pro standpoint, I'm really happy with this bike. This forks were super stiff for the last few years, made them softer in 2025. It's a comfortable chassis, and I'm not too worried about the front end on the CRF250 because I'm able to kind of push through it, push through the bumps, and just carry lots of momentum. Obviously, it's different riding styles bring out different aspects of motorcycles. That's why we have test riders in all shapes, sizes, and skill levels. So what was the front end like and this handling like on this 250 for you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously thinking about it, you're at pro level, you guys, your technique's gonna be dead on. I think that's where we struggle, like riders that aren't, you know, very seasoned riders, we struggle to get the front end loaded correctly. And I think that's where Honda gets kind of the weird rap. There's a lot of weight on the front end already, and it can feel a little shaky at times. Sometimes at high speed, it made me feel a little uncomfortable. I can fix a lot of that with technique, and we don't want to blame the bike completely, but that stuff can be tweaked and can be changed. We actually wound up going with Luxon. They had some options of giving us some parts to try to iron that out. We got the Luxon Gen 3 Pro triple clamps put on this bike and their 4-post bar mounts as well. Those are great. The 4-post bar mounts keep us from twisting. We can race them. If we have tip overs, we can pop up and keep on going, so you get the stability and steering precision. Putting the triple clamps on this bike made me feel the front end. It made me trust the front end. I guess that's the best way to put it. You know, you want a front end that's going to do the same thing every time, and you can kind of repeat that. And that's what the Luxon parts did for this bike. And so I feel like from stock to where we have with the pipe and those Luxon parts, this is a bike that I have raced, will race. I love the package on it, and you can't go wrong. It just takes a little bit of upgrades to get it there.
Overall, the CRF250 platform is a ton of fun to ride, and we're still going to be putting time on this over the next year, so stay tuned for our 250 shootout video and more articles coming about this bike. Other differences though, Honda did introduce a 250 Works Edition, one of the most fun bikes ever. That came first time in 2025. That one also comes with a hydraulic Nissan clutch. This one still has the cable. I definitely prefer the hydraulic feel on the CRF250 Works Edition. Also, I prefer a gripper seat cover. We got the Guts seat cover with the bump on it on his bike. This stock Honda seat does blow out, and you can feel the frame rails with your butt cheeks. So yeah, I'm Josh. He's Josh. Thank you guys for watching this video. Stay tuned for more. We'll see you at the track.